1493, Uncovering the New World. Columbus Created 2011 by Charles C. Mann examines the sweeping effects of the Columbian Exchange and the ways it reshaped history by ushering in a new epoch. Mann calls the Homogenocene. This nonfiction volume serves as a companion to his earlier work, 1491, New Revelations of the Americas Before Columbus. Mann, an American journalist, published in The Atlantic, Science, and Wired, begins 1493 with the tale of Cristobal Colon, better known as Christopher Columbus. Upon reaching Hispaniola, Colon encountered indigenous communities living in complex, advanced societies. Driven by ambition, his actions sparked the Columbian Exchange, a vast transfer of goods, microbes, flora, fauna, people, and epidemics between the eastern and western hemispheres. Mann traces how this exchange generated a new phase of globalization and a distinct biological era, the Homogenocene. He highlights Colon, Legazpi, and Urdaneta, Spanish navigators, for their foundational roles in global interconnection. Colon initiated transatlantic trade between Europe and the Americas, while Legazpi and Urdaneta established a Philippine trade port linking Spain-Europe to China. These routes unleashed ecological, social, and economic repercussions. Part 1 centers on tobacco and disease. Global tobacco cultivation profoundly altered ecosystems. Large-scale monoculture exhausted soil and intensified flooding. As Colon conquistadors and European settlers inundated the Americas, they carried malaria and yellow fever, spreading these illnesses worldwide. The human toll was immense, and one catastrophic outcome was the Atlantic slave trade. Part 2 shifts to the Pacific and the exchange between Spain, Europe, and China. Spanish merchants discovered a single commodity the Americas could supply in return for China's coveted goods, silver. This raw silver reshaped China's political trajectory. Sweet potatoes and tobacco transformed Chinese agriculture and produced major environmental strain. As food availability rose, population expanded alongside it, forming a feedback loop that culminated in ecological collapse. Part 3 shows Europe's global reach through the Columbian Exchange. European agro-industrial systems introduced synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, monocultures, and profit-driven production. These practices became widespread, often causing environmental and human harm. Guano from the Andes became the premier fertilizer source in Europe and beyond. Potatoes moved from South America to Europe, ending famine, while potato blight and pests traveled back through the same exchange, triggering new famines and ravaging the very crops once introduced. Part 4 highlights the vast influence of African peoples dispersed through the Atlantic slave trade. Mann argues that modern history was largely shaped and constructed by African labor. The African diaspora profoundly affected cuisine, agriculture, culture, and world history. Those who escaped enslavement formed independent communities, allied with indigenous groups, Jews, and marginalized Europeans. In the Coda, Mann underscores the magnitude of the Columbian Exchange and its ecological and cultural consequences. He proposes that Colon's initial voyage did far more than link Spain and the Caribbean. It wove a network of connections that ushered in a new evolutionary period. In this era, everything grows increasingly alike. Plants, animals, insects, and people move across near-identical environments, seeking identity in a world where individuality has merged into a single, consuming landscape. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.